What's going on, everyone? I hope you are all having a wonderful start to your week. Today we're going to be looking at just the E-mini futures contracts for S&P 500. Um, Not a lot occurred today. Probably one of the smallest ranges and lowest volume days we've had. I, for one, did not trade. I strongly suggest that if you have a day kind of like today, do not trade it. No trade or cash. Just having cash is a position. No trade is a position. You do not have to get in the market and risk it because today did not provide any good risk reward. I lied. There may have been decent risk reward positions you could have got into early on in the day, but after about D period, there was absolutely nothing until later in the evening, and even then, there really wasn't much of a trade set up. However, we're going to be breaking down the charts per usual from the monthly time frame down to the weekly to the daily down to our 30-minute intraday time frame, looking at the profile and how we shaped up on the day. All right, so monthly. For me, I'm still calling it balance, right? My monthly balance high is up here at 43.2750. My monthly balance low is down here at 34, or excuse me, 35.02. Some people may have been calling this 41.41 level above September's high, the balance high, or excuse me, above December's high, the balance level. But for me, it's up here. You can say that the monthly is one time framing up, but for me to have it one time framing up, I think it needs to take out 43.2750 and have acceptance over this 41.41 level. And at that point, we will all be lined up. Those who were thinking it was one time framing up here will continue to have it, and I will just begin to have my monthly coming into a trend of one time framing up. But right now, we've fallen back below that 41.41 level. Um, Back tested the previous month's high, where we came out of that inside month from. 41.0925 was last month's high. The low so far this month is 40.4850, which I believe we've set today. So let's go ahead and look at our weekly. Weekly, not a lot's changed here. We have continued to one time frame up for 4 to 5 weeks in a row if you include this week, but for me it's just 4 weeks in a row we've been one time framing up, just meaning we're setting higher highs, higher lows, breaking out of this downward trend that we've had set up for quite some time now. Trying to find acceptance over that 41.41 level, which was also that massive outside week down from December, right? uh, Outside week down that we had that led to us one time framing down, but we didn't get much out of it. We've taken that back and gotten above, but now we've so far this week have an inside week. The question is, do we have an inside week, go from up to balance, or do we look to maybe have some profit taking and some sell pressure step into the market and put the weekly back into balance by taking out last week's low, which is at 40.2950? Now that's something the buyers, the bulls, do not want to see. They do not want to see um, us take out 40.2950. They want to continue to move up. However, it does not. It would not be a bad thing to see us come from up to balance on the weekly and then go back and then resume, maybe get a little consolidation on the weekly standpoint and then resume one time framing up, right? You want to get rid of, um, you want to take care of old business, right? And then find some new buyers that maybe prop this market back up and continue to run up. What they don't want to see is us put it back into a 3 week balance and then take out a balance or take out the balance low on the weekly. That's just all speculation. We'll have to see how the rest of this week forms out. If we take out last week's high up at 40.2850, then we'll continue to one time frame up per usual. All right, now let's go into our daily. Daily. We came into an initial balance, a 2 day balance coming in Friday. Not a lot occurred. It was a pretty ugly candle right there that you can see on Friday. Pretty nasty wick. to the downside, and then we got some follow through today, breaking out of our 2-day balance to the downside. You can see that here. We've taken out the balance low, and now we are one time framing down on the daily. The question is, do we take back this massive trend day back from the 1st of February, take back the massive trend day, and maybe back test the 20-day moving average, which would be maybe around the 40-50 level by the time we got down there. Do we back test the 20? Or do we, like I said, in the larger picture, take out a weekly low and put ourselves back into a balance? However, today was a very light volume, small range. Our range today was 32 and 2/4, so not a lot as far as range goes. Volume was very light, very choppy day. So maybe we take out today's high, put ourselves back into balance, and then maybe resume the move up. That's what we've been doing recently, is going bull, balance, bull, bull, balance, bull, back to balance, down. Do we go balance and then bull? Are we just setting up for a higher low to find, like I said, resume finding buyers at a higher price, prop this market back up, and then resume the one time framing up? So that's a possibility. Let's go ahead and break down what occurred in today's market. Like I said, I did not take a trade today. My position was cash, did not do anything as it was a fairly choppy day. Initially, the market opened up with a gap down, pretty sizable gap. Market opened up, it was a decent gap, not massive by any means. Market opened up at 41.2125, where we opened up last, or Friday's low is at 41.35. So we opened up just roughly 12, 13 points lower than Friday's low. However, A period, we attempted to push up, try to fill the gap a little bit, found some sell pressure, rolled back over. B takes out A's low. We get into the single prints from the trend day back on the 1st, right? That's that trend day that I was saying that we don't want to take back. You do not want to get back into the lower distribution from that day, as if we did, then you would possibly see some more sell pressure to the downside because buyers would not be very happy with that. We have a lot of room here, a lot of area for bids, and as you can see, we got into it a little bit. The single print started at 41.1725. We got down to 41.04 before finding a bid in C period after taking out the initial balance low and continue to one time frame down before we bounce back up and uh, resumed the move to the upside again to fill the gap in D period, solidified it in E where we set our high day, and then for the rest of the evening, just remain chop. We end up with today's high, today's low. You can call J an afternoon rally high, but I'm not. You can say it is, but I refuse to call it an afternoon rally high just because it was a rotational day. Today is what you would call a rotational day, where you just basically play the edges. That was um, just play the edges. So basically, when it comes down to value low, you'll buy. When it comes up to value high, you'll sell. Uh, but we created a 13 wide point of control. That is a perfect point of control. That means 13 out of 13 time frames traded back and forth through 41.2250. So 4,122.50 cents traded back and forth through that price. 13 out of 13 time frames, creating a perfect point of control. The first one of the year is a rare sighting to see perfect points of control. Usually you'll get, 7 wide and then find a direction and go and break out of the consolidation. So that's basically all today was. On the downside was consolidation because we had gotten into where some single prints were, and we were finding bids that may have been propping up the market. And then obviously anybody that was trapped long up here or trapped long here, they're selling out. So it just caused a lot of back and forth, choppy action in the inventory. Bell-shaped curve. Um, Probably the best trade of the day was maybe taking the long in C period to come back in, or shorting in J period, which I almost did. I was sitting here watching it in J period when we pushed up uh, to 30, 41.30, and what I had observed was on the 1 minute chart, I have standard deviations and VWAP set up, and I noticed that we've gotten above VWAP and we were starting to get above the first standard deviation. Usually when that happens, kind of like we did here, which was where our high a day was, usually when that happens, you usually sell above the standard deviation to come back below and test VWAP again or get below VWAP. So you could have short, and it was great risk reward short on just a profile standpoint, and an edge standpoint where you wanted to do because sellers were in control most of the day. They had value lower, right? They had a gap. They initially, and then they had the indices, meaning that they were down over a 0.5%. So as J period pushed up, and we had a wide point of control down below. So as J pushed up around 41.30, 41.34, you're risking anywhere from 6 to 2 points to rotate back down to 41.22. 10, 12 points in worth of gain. Short here, wait for the rotation back down to point of control where you would exit your position. Really good risk reward short there, where you would sell here in J period near 41.34, out above 41.36, right? 41.36.50, that should be. So you get out above E's high because you don't know how much pressure they would relieve, right? Steam's been boiling in the pot. You wouldn't know how much pressure would be relieved to come back up. However, as expected, because we had a wide point of control, mean reversion, you short, it comes in, you get out of the position, bada bing, bada boom. Other than that, that's all we got. As far as destinations go, we got today's low day at 41.04. So if we open up um, below the 13 wide point of control, can't take out today's low, then you'll look to rotate back up to 41.2250, which is that 13 wide point of control. If we get through that, then you look to take out 41.3650, and then you don't have anything until 41.94, which is a large vacuum up to the upside uh, from Friday's high left in E period. Um, but you would be putting the daily back into a balance at that point, and you wouldn't know how much you would get out of it. If you open up above the 13 wide point of control and you cannot take out today's high at 41.3650, then you'll look to rotate back down. Maybe sell here, rotate, same thing you would have did in J period. Sell to come back down into 41.2250. And then if we get through that, test the low of day at 41.04. Below 41.04, you have where the single prints fill at 40.8975. Below that, you have absolutely nothing to 48.50, the low of day from February 1st. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, stay safe out there. Use stops. We'll catch you guys in the next ones. See ya.